What's good, my dudes and dudettes and everything in between? It's me, the Purple Sharpie, here live, live in color at Game Devs of Color Expo 2022. I'm here with an amazing team, or should I say a member of an amazing team. I have Steve Duran from Ogre Pixel, who is here to talk about their new project, Lonesome Village. How are you doing today, Steve?
I'm fine. I'm so happy to be here. Yeah, I'm so excited.
I'm also very excited because I saw your game, Lonesome Village, last year at the Game Devs of Color Direct, and I have to ask you, what is Lonesome Village about?
Oh, yeah, Lonesome Village is, we call it a puzzle-solving adventure with social simulation. This is a cool mix between solving Zelda-style puzzles and interacting with NPCs like Animal Crossing style gameplay, and everything inside wrapped into an intriguing game with an interesting story and, important to say, no combat.
Ooh, okay. I'm intrigued, but I think we have a trailer that showcases all of these themes and more. Let's go ahead and roll it. Okay, that trailer I saw last year during Game Devs of Color Expo 2021 during the Direct, and I have to say, seeing it this year makes me immediately want to grab that demo on Steam right now. But before I do that again, I have to ask you some questions, starting with this. The main character of the game is a cute little coyote named Wes, right? All of the characters inside of the game, including the villagers, are also different characters as well. Why did you opt to make characters inside of the game be different animals?
Yeah, most of all because we try to give a personality to every character, and we say like, what's the best way to give them a personality by turning them into animals? So yeah, that made sense for us.
And it's super cute. They're incredibly adorable. I noticed, like, one of the very first things anybody notices when they look at the game is the animation style is so incredibly unique. It's cute. It's adorable. It's really eye-catching. Talk to me about the in-game animations that we see when Wes is actually exploring the world.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, we appreciate it. One of the things which took more time for us was to reach that art style. And the animation part was very important for us because we wanted to make this animation to fit the art style for the game. So we tried to create cool and fun and cozy animations for the game. Yeah, that's why we tried to do that.
I think it really does fit with the aesthetic of the game too. Just like you said, It obviously is based off of 2D Zelda games and a little bit of Animal Crossing, but the game manages to capture almost this Game Boy Advance feel, or like Game Boy SP, like Game Boy Color feel that you have like when you have a little handheld game. And I think that is really, really interesting because it kind of gives it more of that cozy, homey, like really, really just cutesy, super approachable feel. Was that also intentional when it went into the storyboarding and animation, like just conversations regarding creating the characters and creating the aesthetic of the game?
Yeah, yeah, most of all because uh, accordingly to the work we have previously done, we are, let's say, specialists working on 2D top-down kind of video games. Yeah, that was a perfect fit. And now that you mentioned about the the Game Boy Advance kind of games, let's say that the colors are were inspired by the Legend of Zelda Minish Cap. Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a really good
you,
game. I definitely see the inspiration. It's super cute. Like I feel like I don't even have enough words to describe how enjoyable it is just watching the gameplay. But obviously,
thanks.
let's get a little bit more into the actual gameplay. I've been over here going on and on about the graphics and about the art style and about the characteristics of the characters, but I would be nowhere if I didn't talk about the actual puzzles inside of the game that you have an opportunity to solve. They're very, very unique. And similar to the Zelda structure, there are opportunities for you to obviously be inside of a dungeon and defeat the dungeon by figuring out puzzles inside the dungeon without using combat. Can you talk to me more about why that specific dungeon pattern actually doesn't have any combat inside of the game?
Yeah, yeah. We want to say that the tower is like the dark part, the darky part of the game. It's very easy for the player to know what's going on there because every floor inside the tower has a puzzle, which is some kind of a challenge for the player. And we love games which make the player to think. So that's why we found this a good way to include this inside the game, because inside the tower, every time the player solves a puzzle, a new villager or a new set of villagers will be rescued and be around outside of the village.
Now, speaking of the villagers and going back to some of the characteristics inside of the game, the villagers are basically entities that and characters that you're able to unlock as you defeat different puzzles and different towers inside of the game, as you said before. But they also allow you to kind of build up a town and create almost a social dynamic with them, right? Can you talk to me a little bit about some of the mechanics inside of the game that allow you to expand with the villagers and become more of a social butterfly, if you were?
Yeah, yeah, we created a friendship system. We call it a friendship system for the interactions with the characters. So by talking with them, helping them with different quests, and getting different items by different ways like fishing, gathering resources, and finding different secret objects, hidden objects all around. Yeah, you can create a friendship with the characters, and then I don't want to spoil it, but once you reach certain level on the friendship system, you will get a cool moment inside the game.
Ooh, okay. Unlockable social links. I love that concept. I really love the idea of being able to get closer with the characters inside of the game and also being able to see more of their internal personalities as they're showcased throughout the dynamic of the game as well. Now, I kind of want to harken back to another mechanic inside of the game, which is, I believe, the bartering and trading system, which also unlocks the friendship and social links, like you said before. Talk to me about how that actually works inside of Unity and how you're able to keep track of so many different characters inside of the game.
Oh yeah, that was a challenge for us because our save file for the game is really big. We have to get track of all the quest level for each NPC, for each villager, and we have to take track of the status of the friendship system, and yeah, that was a challenge, but we let me tell you something, a little secret. We had to rework on that part of the game 3 months ago because the first implementation we did was not that good, but we redid that part inside the game, and now the system is working very well.
So speaking of mechanics inside of the game and the puzzle-based system that we have in here, I know that there's also a really unique mechanic inside of this game that allows you to unearth certain secrets. Can you talk to me about the glass mechanic inside of the game?
Yeah, there is a cool feature inside the game where we call it the magic glass, and it's a special item used by Wes or main character, which allows the player to discover hidden secrets all around the game. This can be used to get clues to solve the puzzles. This can be used a little bit later on the story for a special moment. I don't want to spoil about it, and yeah, you can even use this to find different secrets around the all the scenario.
Was this a feature that was requested by people inside of the community, or was this something that the team actually thought would be really cool? Because I know that there's similar mechanics inside of certain puzzle-based and just general action games occasionally, or was this something that you all once again just thought up?
Yeah, this is something we wanted to create since the beginning of the game because we feel this adds an extra layer to the game because it's an exploration game, it's a puzzle solving game, and now adding that layer, it's we feel something great for the game.
Awesome. Speaking of reworking and kind of re-edging things, I understand obviously that your team also was able to fund this game, not necessarily through a publisher, but actually through your own community of fans on Kickstarter. Is that correct?
Yeah, a big part of the development was from the fans. Yeah, that was something which helped us, not necessarily, yeah, with the budget to create the game, but also with the we know that we are doing something which the people is waiting for. We received the support from a little bit more than 3,500 people.
Yep.
Yeah, that means a lot for us.
And I know that you all are also very well known because your studio started back in 2014, I believe, creating mobile games. Is that also correct?
Yeah. Something important to say is that when we started creating games back in 2014, we started sharing all the development stuff on our social media channels. And for a moment, we didn't feel that was worth it. But now that with all the support we received on the Kickstarter, yeah, we all those years of hard work doing that was what helped us to reach the goal of the Kickstarter.
And as we've seen like so many times before with so many different dev teams, getting that communication with your community from some of your first games before the Kickstarter obviously sets you up for success. I know that you all were basically sharing and showcasing how you were growing and learning as a game studio, working on different aspects and different mechanics inside of the mobile game, which, as I understand it, was actually the very first Mexican game to be on the Apple gaming platform, created by a Mexican game developer. Am I understanding that correct?
Yeah. When Apple created the subscription platform called Apple Arcade, we were part of the initial 100 titles.
Wow.
And yeah, we are the first Mexican studio to have a game inside the platform.
That's fantastic and truly world breaking. And I just want to be honest, like it showcases the talent that is available at your studio. And if we go through the Kickstarter and we go through the credits, we can see there's obviously a long laundry list of people that are responsible for the final project as it is now. But I want to kind of focus on the fact that you all actually have opted to do a lot of the work inside of the game yourself. As I understand it, there's not only in-game animation, but also cutscene animations that you all personally made yourself inside of your studio. Can you talk me through that process?
Yeah, the last stretch goals, the last stretch goal from the game, from the Kickstarter of the game, was to create animated cutscenes. When we thought about that stretch goal, we felt we didn't know how much effort, how much would that cost for us. Mm-hmm. So we started looking for third-party companies to create the animations, the animated cutscenes inside the game, and we found that was expensive for us, and we ended up doing them by ourselves inside the team. So wow. The Alice, which is our lead artist, she is responsible for the art side of the game. She personally was also in charge of the cutscenes creation. She was the producer for that part of the game. And yeah, that was a great experience for us. We felt super happy because we were able to do that by ourselves. And we have created a couple of short films on YouTube. You can find them. We created a short film for Halloween, and another one for Christmas. And also, all the animations you can see on our TikTok are made with the same team. The same thing we used to create the animated cutscenes.
See, I really like that, and I really appreciate that about your team, and specifically about the way that you all are approaching this project, because you're bringing the entirety of your community on this journey of creating it with you. And that's exactly what you showcased on the previous side when you were creating mobile games. So it's such a pleasure to be able to see you continuing to do that, and especially on this new format on TikTok, which, as you know, is a newer social media platform that most people are still kind of getting used to see you taking leaps and bounds and creating short films and short animations on YouTube, and then also posting them on TikTok for a younger audience to see and enjoy is just so nice. Is that all intentional? Do you want to make sure that your game is accessible for literally anybody and all ages?
Yeah, we're almost every day posting on all social media platforms, and TikTok was special for us because, as you mentioned, it's a newer social media. So what we're doing with TikTok is creating animated TikToks, and also TikToks with when we are showcasing gameplay from the game. So the people which will be following us will know that, yeah, we can create animations, and we are also game developers.
That's awesome. I want to kind of rewind a little bit here and go into some of the sound and music choices that you made inside of this game, because they're so, once again, incredibly unique. Inside of the narrative side of the actual vocal performances for the characters, they're not actually speaking English. The vocal that you use inside of there is actually repeated sound effects that mimic something that was inside of Animal Crossing, I believe, called Bubbleese, which is a sound effect that just actively mirrors speech but isn't quite speech. Why did you opt to use that type of language inside of this game?
Oh yeah, that's fun because Rich is the guy who is in charge of the sound effects. He sent us a set of sounds to be used for that. Let's say blah 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 effect. And though he told us that, hey, I did this yesterday late. Try this. This is a test, and we like that test, and that those are the sounds we are using. And the reason is because, yeah, we feel it's fun and it fits with the game aesthetic and the animations and all the look and feel for the game. Yeah, that's the reason.
It definitely adds a certain level of polish. And one of the things I also noticed inside of the sound design, before we start talking about even the musical aspect of it, is there's so many special effects that we are able to hear inside of the game. One of the very first scenes that you see is when Wes comes into the game. He's standing next to a campfire, and that campfire you hear as clear as day. When he's near the water, you hear the water rushing, you see the fish jumping. Like, there's so many different things that are extenuated and punctuated by the sound effects. Can you talk to me about why you opted to include so many special little bits of polish inside of the sound effects, and whether or not that was meant to create more of a whole story?
Yeah, yeah. The responsible for that is also Rich, which is the guy in charge of the sound effects, because at first we were not going to include a lot of detail inside the sound effects, and he told us, hey, like, hey, I can create special effects for every moment, for every aspect, for every interaction, and the game will feel better. And yeah, we agreed to that, and yeah, the result is very great.
It definitely showcases inside of the game. One of the moments I want to call out is actually at the very start of it, inside of kind of like, once again, this is not spoilers because it's all inside of literally the intro cinematic. But when the tower arises inside of the city and the villagers start disappearing, the sound effects that kind of like pop when every single one of the villagers goes away, and the sound effects from the building actually coming up make that entire animation seem so much more epic, and it adds a certain level of like intensity to the idea of Wes having to get everybody back from these towers. It really does add, once again, that level of polish to the game that I think brings a better overall environment completely. But that brings me over to the music inside of the game. Now, I understand that Maria was actually the audio designer, and she was personally responsible for creating and orchestrating all the music that we hear in the game. I know one of the stretch goals was actually having a live orchestra perform all of this as well. Can you talk me through that?
Yeah, that was one of the stretch goals. That stretch goal was idea from Maria Majo,
Mhm.
and yeah, that process was really awesome because she lives in the United States, and she took a flight to come to Mexico, to Puebla, Mexico,
Wow.
and then she contact a school of students which had an orchestra, and then we were able to record all the themes inside the game into an orchestrated version. And I remember when we were replacing the files from the original files, which were not orchestrated, from with the orchestrated files. Oof, the difference was huge. And yeah, that was something very very special for us. And yeah, we will be. I don't know if this is a spoiler, but inside the game Depths of Color, we will be showcasing the making of video for the orchestra, for
Well,
the orchestrated soundtrack.
you heard it here first, folks, unless it's showcased before this, in which you didn't. But hey, make sure you're tuning in to even more Game Devs of Color Expo. Obviously, as this event will be showcasing some special moments from Lonesome Village's creations, which I personally don't want to miss. I'm a music buff. I love that type of stuff. But look, we can't sit here talking about music forever or any of my aspects that were the favorite part of the game, because as I understand it, you all also made some really cute Kickstarter merchandising from the game. Is that right? Like, do we have merch?
Yeah, yeah, we have.
So cute. So cute, so cute, so cute, so cute, so cute. So I know you all have plushies. I know you all have pens. You even have physical CDs which people can use to actually listen to the soundtrack. Where did the inspiration for all of the merchandising opportunities that you all created come from?
Yeah, all each and every one of the merch has a reason. I mean, we have, for example, a puzzle, a printable puzzle, which It's a puzzle because of the game is about puzzles. We created this plushie because of the characters are very cute and had a lot of personality. We have a pin to be a collectible item. The soundtrack is very special for us because it's orchestrated. Yeah, so all the merch is important and special for us.
One of the other things that I noticed specifically just in general on social media is every single member of a team has a different character icon almost representing them. Can you talk about why your character icon is the way it is?
Yeah. For me personally, it's a wolf because I like the wolves, and something cool is that every time a new member comes into our personal development team Discord, we ask, hey, what animal would you like to be as a Lonesome Village character? Yeah, that's something fun, and the art team creates the character, and it's ready to be included inside the presentations, and they usually use this as an avatar. We found this fun.
That's so cute. I absolutely love that. Well, unfortunately, we are out of time for the rest of this interview, but I do want to thank you again so much, Steve, for taking time today to talk to me about Lonesome Village. And I'm incredibly excited to go off rescuing villages.
Oh, thank you so much. It was fun. I was so happy, and thank you.
You're very welcome. Viewers, as a reminder, you can wishlist the game right now on Steam, or if you follow Ogre Pixel on multitude of platforms, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, or their Discord, you can stay up to date on when the game will actually be released on Steam, Xbox Series, and Nintendo Switch. As always, we have even more Game Devs of Color Expo 2022 coming up. Stay tuned.